Hello Internet! Today a very short video to analyze your Panda data frame. Last video we were talking about some data streaming from some cloud files. Today, complete opposite. We are here operating on a local level. This is here, you see here my display from my laptop. I'm here working on Anaconda. I have a virtual environment. I installed Panda profiling from Conda Forge. And the first is we import our NumPy, we import our Panda, we import Panda profiling. And what we want is to have an idea if we have a Panda data frame that there are no values missing. We want to check, are there some duplication going on in the data frame? Are there some missing values? What is the particularity? And just to want to show you the data frame, how does it look like? This is a very simple auto-generated random data frame. We have A, B, C, D, E from our columns, and we have 100 rows. And if you say, okay, profile report from our data frame, you can have two outputs. You can have it either to the widgets, or since we're working here in a Jupyter Lab, Notebook has a little bit of different configuration. I have the profile to my iframe. I think it is a little bit more, but it's the same contents. I will show you the absolute same contents, but this is a nicer layout, I would say, with iframe here on a Jupyter Lab. So what we have here is the Panda profiling report. We have overview, variables, interaction, correlation, missing values, and some samples. And if you're here at the overview level, we can see here, just to make sure we check, we have the number of variables, the number of columns, and this is 5. The number of observation, this is our rows, 100. Missing cell 0, missing cell in percent 0. We have 0 duplicate rows. This is the size. And warnings, we have unique value. Well, I hope we have unique value, and this started today. It took 4 seconds, and this is it. Now you can check all different variables, and we have here the variable A. This is the heading of our column A, and you see here we have 100 distinct values. So in percentage, it's 100%. 0 are missing. And yeah, mean is 0.47, minimum, maximum zeros, negative values whatsoever. Now it becomes a little bit more interesting. Yeah, and you can of course save it to a file, an HTML file. You can send this file somewhere, or use to your client, or to your partner, cooperator, whatever, so you can share your results. Now, I have here a CSV file, a comma-separated file with 35,000 project descriptions, a meta description of the projects. And if I start now a profile on 35,000 project reports with funding and heading and whatsoever, you will see here that this profile activates all threads on my CPU, 6 core, 12 threads, parallel. It is really fast for 35,000 projects, as you can see here. And the structure of our Panda data frame here, this is a record identifier, a numerical identifier. Then we have acronym, status, program name, the topic, a program, numerical program, then a title, start date, end date, the objective, the cost, the contribution, funding schemes, coordinator. And we have 35,000 of them. And the nice thing now that if we start our profile, that we can have a very short and fast overview of our data frame. Is in any column, are there duplicates, are values missing, are values that are not specified to be there, what's going on in our complex data frame. And as you can see, for 35,000 project description, this took about 10-20 seconds. And here we are again, Panda profiling report deeper. Yeah, you have some different parameters you can activate. And you see here that you can have minimal, either true, or if you want to extend that version, minimum is false. And then you can even, if we have an explorative step, and I will show you what is the result. So again, we have an overview, we have the number of variables, we have 19 columns, the number of observations. These are our 35,124 project descriptions. We have missing cells, and not quite a lot of, because it's 10% of all cells are missing. We have 0 duplicate rows. This is great. And percentage also 0, of course. And we have numerical, categorical, and unsupported. We have a look at this in a second. What's nice is the warning shows you about cardinality. Of course, you want to have as an acronym, you want to have distinct acronyms. Each project should have a different project acronym. A program can have a lot of projects, so this is not a problem. The correlation now is a very interesting part because, as I told you, we have a record ID and a pure project ID. And of course, we expect those two parameters to be highly correlated, and they should be really one-to-one identifiers. You have also the reverse to the identifier is highly correlated to the record number, of course, and so on. So you see here the correlation field, you see here missing, tells you the project URL is completely missing from our 35,124 rows, 100% are missing, and then the total cost, we have 500 missing values, 1.4%, and acronym is uniformly distributed, and unsupported, we have unsupported types. So let's have a look at this now in detail. As I told you, the first and the second column, the record number and the numerical ID, are highly correlated, and they should be absolutely distinct. And we have here 35,124 entries, and we have here also 35,124 entries. We have 0 missing in both cases. And whatever the number is, I don't care right now, but we have identifier. Now, acronym is interesting because we would like to have each and every project have a different project acronym. Unfortunately, you can see that this is not the case because we only have 93% distinct acronyms. And you can see here on the right side, the project acronym SMILE, for example, happens to be there 15 times. Somebody used the project acronym SMILE for different projects. The same with the project acronym SPIRE and so on. So you can make sure that you can have a one-to-one identifier with acronym. Status is interesting. The next column we are looking at. This gives you the status of the project. Either the project has a signed contract, the contract has been signed, the project has been closed status, so it has been terminated, it has been finished, or if there was some problem or some whatever, that before time you had to terminate the project, the term 407 project have been terminated. And you see here, there's one status report that is missing, so you know there's one project with a missing status value. Now, program, a different encoding of program names, never mind about it, but you can see still there's one project with a program name missing, and we have 573 distinct program names, and from the multiples you can see here that 9,309 projects have applied for this specific program type. Topics, yes. Framework programs, yeah. Title. Title is now very nice, but before this, let's do the date. The date, I have a start date and an end date, and we have here 959 different dates. You can see here 905 of them were the 1st of January 2019, when the program started. 1st of January, all of our 905 projects started. We have here 10 projects where we have a missing start date, and you can easily check which of them is it. But the nice thing about it, if you have not just a numerical, but you have a title, is if you have a look at this, you see here, there's no title missing at all. And we have a title uniqueness of 99.2%. This means sometimes it happened that a project has the exact same title, which should be impossible, but you know, for example, here establishing services has for 6 projects the same identical title, although I hope that they're different projects. So if you want to dive in a little bit deeper, you just activate your toggle detail and you get quite a lot of further insights. For example, you have a look here at the length, at the minimum length of the title. You can have the total characters, the distinct characters, the scripts, the blocks, uniqueness. You have here a sample. So what does a typical title look like? This is title number 1. Technologies of the future for low-cost enzymes for environmental friendly products. And you see this looks good, this is nice. The next one gives you, as I already showed you, that the common values, there are 6 counts where we have the identical title belonging to different projects. So we have to clean up these titles. We have to have another run. Words is interesting. If you want to define your stop words for some further data analysis, you can see here that the word and, for example, we used 17,717 times in our documents, or the word off for the in a, so perfectly stop words if you have some semantic analysis going on. And of course, you have the same on the level of characters. So the most significant single character with 33,000 times is the space. Then we have the character E. So whatever you are interested in, you can have here evaluate all the different characters. Now, interesting here is that you see, because as you see the number of characters, we have 172 different values. So you know in the Latin alphabet there has to be some other characters. We have here the categories. We have lowercase, space separators, punctuation, other punctuation, decimal number, close punctuation, final punctuation, and other values. And if you look at the script and you are now do some Unicode encoding or whatever, UTF-8, you can say, okay, how many Latin characters do I have? And you see here the majority of our text, 86.6% are Latin characters. Interestingly enough, we have in our title 69 Greek characters like alpha, beta, gamma, I suppose. And we have even one Cyrillic script, which is really, really interesting. So if you want to have a clean database, a clean file, a clean Parquet file, if you want to save it to a Delta Lake, you should take care about these things right now. And if you're interested here in a block, you have here your SC values, your punctuation, your mathematical operators. If you want to say I do not want to have any mathematical operators in my title field, you can check here. If you do not want to have some errors or some Greek or Cyrillic or whatsoever, you can make a deep dive into each specific title, into each category, into each row, into each column of your data frame. You can analyze each and every cell, and you see here at the status. You can have a look here if we scroll up under Panda profiling. We have been overview, we have been variables. You can have a look at the interactions. You have a look at the correlation between the different Panda data frame columns, for example. A missing value, you can have here a bar chart, look at the missing values for each and every of your different columns and so on, your samples. So this is a very nice library. I can recommend to you Panda profiling. As you can see, this is just this 1-2 cells, and you get a really nice overview. It is fast, it is accurate, and you know exactly that you have no duplicates, no missing values, that you have, I don't know, if you look for an ASCII or UTF-8 or whatever union encoding you're looking for, you can make sure exactly, or you're looking for a certain length, or you want to analyze your stop words, or whatever your task, you got a really, really nice data analysis for your particular Panda data frame. Before you do any further analysis, you convert it, or you operate with different function on your data frame. This was it for today. 14 minutes. Gee, longer than I thought, but I hope it will be helpful for you in your data analysis, maybe in your data import, or also if you analyze some results that you get and you have normally in a Panda data frame, or if you're operating in Spark. Of course, you know that even in Spark 3.2, if you have some AutoML, that there is a functionality very close to Panda profiling for a Spark data frame, also with some other cloud cluster structures. But this is beyond the video of today. I hope you enjoy your Panda profiling.